Let's learn about three types of communities. A community is a place where different types of people live, work, worship, and play together. There are three types of communities: urban, suburban, and rural. An urban area is a city where there are lots of tall buildings, people, cars, and buses. For example, where we live, Washington, D.C., is an urban area and city. Next is a suburban area, which we call the suburbs. In a suburb, there are shorter buildings and fewer people. Many people that live in the suburbs outside of the city travel to the city for work and entertainment. Last is a rural area. It has fewer people and smaller houses that are spaced apart and consist of barns and farms where food is grown. And forest area, where wild animals like deer and foxes live.
Today, our objective is to make our own city out of paper and out of shapes of different colors. We are going to use all of the shapes that we've learned about and all the colors, primary and secondary, to create our own city.
We will also work on gross hand strength and strengthening the muscles of the hand by using scissors. Welcome to today's art class. We're going to get started on our community. Now I want you guys to think about where you live and what type of buildings you see. Alright, so if you live in an apartment or you live in a house, think about how big they are. Think about the shapes. Are they squares? Are they rectangles? Do you see triangles anywhere in the mix? Alright, so I live in the city, like we just learned about. And in the city, you have a mixture of apartments, and you have houses, and you have condos. You have different types of housing. I live in a house, but I have apartment buildings all around me, so I'm going to reflect that in my project. So I've got all of my papers here. I've got my primary and my secondary colors. My primaries are red, yellow, and blue. And my secondary colors are purple, orange, and green. Alright, so it doesn't make a difference what color you start out with, but I'm going to start out with red, and I'm going to make a very tall apartment building. And what shape is this going to be? I think I'm going to make it into a rectangle. Alright. And I'm going to put it down on my paper. I'm not going to glue it down just yet. I just want to put it down to kind of figure out how I'm going to design my neighborhood. Alright, so I've got a red building. I think I want my house to be, I'll turn this around for you guys. I think I want my house to be orange. Alright, and I'm going to cut a square for my house, but I'm going to cut a very small square because I want to show that the apartment building is very tall. So I'm going to cut a smaller square for my house. Alright, and I think I'm going to put two houses in my neighborhood because there are a lot of houses in my neighborhood, but I'm just going to put two. There we go. And here is another house. Alright, so I've got a rectangle and two squares. And in my neighborhood there are also stores. Alright, so there's stores where I shop. So I think I'm going to cut kind of a big rectangle because stores are usually big because they hold a lot of items. Alright. There we go. So we've got a big rectangle for a store. But I don't think I have enough room for two houses, so I'll just take one house out Let me take one house out, turn it that way to give me some space, and this will be a store. Alright, and my store is a large rectangle. Okay, and we call this a storefront, so I'm going to draw the front of the building. But I think that my house actually needs a roof. Alright, and what shape is a roof? I think I'm going to turn mine into a triangle. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the edge of the paper, which has already formed a triangle. Okay, well there we go. But now I'm wondering if I like that red triangle for my roof. I want it to stand out, so maybe I'll use a darker color. Maybe I'll use purple. Oh no, you know what I'll use, guys? I'll use blue. Because blue and orange are complementary colors. Alright, they sit across from each other on the coloring wheel. So that'll be a great choice. And I'll put this right here. Oh wow, that looks nice. And with the roof on top of the house, it looks like it's sitting in front of the store and the apartment building. So since I've already designed my paper, all I need to do now is put my paper scraps aside, and I need to start gluing them down. And what I like to do when I glue is I like to just push the glue up a little bit, not too far, just a little bit, and I like to count. 1, 2, 3, enough for me. Alright, and that makes and that lets me know that I have enough glue and not too much. So it makes everything nice and easy. Right. 1, 2, 3, enough for me. See, I don't have glue squeezing out everywhere. I've got just the right amount. And like I said earlier, it makes things nice and easy and clean. All right. 1, 2, 3, enough for me. Okay, I'm gonna glue this down. Glue my store down. And after you glue, make sure you rub your paper so it doesn't move. You want to get a nice stick. And last but not least is one of my favorite shapes, the triangle. I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the other shapes. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, enough for me. Right, here we go. Perfect. Here is my neighborhood. Okay. Now, if you guys would like, you can take a crayon and you can draw in windows and doors. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on my apartment building first. I'm going to use a dark crayon and I'm going to draw a lot of squares. Alright? Squares are boxes, so I'm going to draw a lot of boxes. And they are going to be my windows. And since a lot of people live in apartment buildings, they need to be able to see outside. So I'm going to go ahead and draw all my boxes, color them in, and then I'm going to move to my house. Alright, and we need a door for this apartment building so people can go in and out. So I'm going to draw a large rectangle, right? Because I can't draw a box or a square because that's only for people that are very, very short. What if somebody is very tall? They need a tall entryway. Go ahead and color in all of my windows. looking great. The city's coming alive. There we go. Okay. So next I'm going to color in, or draw in, then color in the windows of my house. I think I'm going to do 3 windows. So I draw 3 squares, 3 boxes. Then I'm going to draw another rectangle, but I'm going to make that a little bit thinner because it's a house. Alright. Go ahead and color in my windows. And last but not least is my store. And usually stores have big doors so multiple people can go in and out at the same time. So I'm going to draw a big door. I'm going to make that a rectangle. Alright, I'm going to color that in. And to make my storefront complete, I think I'm going to draw huge windows. Huge display windows where people can look in the store and see what they'd like to buy. Alright, and make sure we try to stay within the lines. This is going to help strengthen our hands. Okay, focus. Alright, and there is my city, my storefront, my house, and my apartment building. Now next, I think I am going to draw clouds. So I'm going to pull out my white crayon, and I'm still going to use my blue crayon. I'm going to outline, I'm going to make curved lines. I'm going to outline my cloud. Make clouds of all different sizes. Go ahead and color them in. White because clouds are white. To finish off my city. Thanks for watching.